Great morning, holy brothers and sisters, on this terrific Tuesday of May 8th, the 23rd day of Iyar. It is also the 38th day of the Omer for those counting, and in the Kitzur Likutei Moharan, today's lesson will be called Ascending Atoms. This is teaching number 101. Every single Jew and all those who seek to honestly come closer to Hashem possess the quality called the radiant face, which is also associated with knowledge and perception of the Holy Torah in its capacity as an elixir of life. This quality constitutes the holiness of the people who at their root are far removed from all negative traits and from all physical cravings. Also contained is the quality of the 70 nations, which are associated with the Torah in its capacity as a deadly poison, as also with a darkened face, which is identified with darkness and the concealment of knowledge. When a person toils in Torah study for the sake of heaven until he merits to grasp and to understand the wisdom of the Holy Torah, he thereby moves from the darkened face to the radiant face. In turn, his enslavement to physical desires and negative character traits of the 70 nations, which corresponds to a darkened face, is nullified, and then he is called Adam, a person, as in, this is the Torah, a person, Numbers 19:14, and you are called Adam, Yevamah 61a. For the main way that a person merits to be called Adam is through the Holy Torah, which is identified with the radiant face and with being removed from and breaking down all physical desires and negative character traits. We know that in order to be called this Adam, this man, we have to act in a higher and a proper and a more refined ways that elevate us. Otherwise, when people, God forbid, act solely on physical desires, lusts, and wants, they lose this identification to superior beings, and they are no better than lowly animals. Through this, a person then merits the yoke of enslavement to the outside nations, and that yoke is removed from him on the physical plane as well, as our sages of blessed memory taught. Whoever accepts upon himself the yoke of Torah, from him are removed the yoke of government and the yoke of worldly occupation. Avos 3:5. And this idea of being involved in occupation has to do with emunah. If somebody trusts honestly that God will provide for him every single thing and every need that he has, he doesn't even have to worry about anything. Why would he have to go out and slave away and work so hard? It's only commensurate with our level of emunah, how much we actually believe when we say the chapter of the manna every day, that it'll literally fall from heaven for us because God will provide, versus how much we say, oh, I have to go out and work, and I have to earn a livelihood, and I have to kiss up to my boss because I want an extra and bigger paycheck. So the more emunah we have, the less hishtadlus we have, the less physical work that we'll have to do. And the more work you have to do is commensurate with how much you actually believe and know that everything is from God. And usually some people are somewhere in the middle, but everybody has to know where they stand in their relationship with God, and they have to know how much they should have to be working on improving that. Teaching number 102, every person must carefully pray in such a way that it'll be able to arouse and draw influx of bounty into the world. This ability, however, is dependent on fear and awe of God, since when a person has fear of heaven, his words are heeded. Bracha 6b. Now, there are two types of fear. The first, higher fear, which comes to a person sporadically, is whenever it wishes. For this type of fear, there's no heavenly reward, since the person did nothing to attain it. Then there's a second type of fear, which comes to a person as a result of his own efforts. This kind of fear is referred to in the verse as the tzaddik rules with the fear of God, from 2 Samuel 23:3. Through this type of fear, a person's prayer is heeded, influx of bounty descends into the world, and God's kingship is revealed and magnified. We know that we're only rewarded for that which we actually worked hard to attain. Also, we can honestly appreciate, without a type of embarrassment, that which we worked hard to attain. When we feel great about it when we earn a livelihood, but ashamed when we're simply given pitiful handouts. Teaching 103, and this explains the reason why Moshe is called the tribes of Reuven and Gad, why he calls them a band of sinful men, from Numbers 32:14, which Onkelos renders as students of guilty men. We become whatever we surround ourselves with. And in order to grow spiritually, we need to find friends that can help to uplift and to motivate us, and never the opposite, God forbid. And we should always seek out teachers who help us become wiser, stronger, and more connected to our Creator. As always, thank you so much for learning together. If you enjoyed this lesson, please remember to like, comment, share, and borrow. And please God, we'll learn again tomorrow.